hide your money from your spouse? Yeah, is this the first time you are hearing it? I guess not. Let's put it this way. Should you hide money from your spouse, or should you pool resources together and join your finances? Which one builds a better future for you and your family? This is the big question we are tackling today. And trust me, you'll want to stick around because the answer might just change how you see marriage and money forever. Now, let me take you back to my childhood when we did not have a car. My dad couldn't afford one because he had 3 kids in private school, me and some 2 others. Dragging kids through chaotic vehicular and human traffic in a developing country. It wasn't easy. I remember one day, some guys came to show my dad this car they were selling, and get this, the car couldn't even start. The disrespect. This car literally physically was pushed to my dad, hoping he would buy it. Can you imagine? Fast forward to a good number of months, my dad bought his first car, and not some broken down jalopy. This was a Nissan Bluebird. I remember the car. A mix of sky blue, deep blue. Pretty much new. People in the community were shocked. They kept asking, how did he do it? I will share the full story later in this video. How my parents made that leap from struggling to thriving. But first, let's get into this. Should couples join their finances, or should they keep them separate? I'm Aflyn, and welcome to my channel where I deliver amazing financial education that will change your life. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now because this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Now, this is not a marriage counseling channel, but disagreement over finances is a leading cause of financial stress. In fact, it's a primary source of stress for 35% of couples. So we can all agree that this is not a small issue. People have varying opinions when it comes to this whole don't join your finances with your spouse debate. Some people would say, do whatever works for you, but what works best most of the time? That's the question, and we'll figure that out today. In my view, there are 3 main approaches to handling family finances. Everything else is pretty much a remix or blend of the 3. Number 1, we contribute 50-50. Number 2, we split proportional to income. And number 3, we are one, so we'll pull everything together. Which approach is the best? Well, I know some people love to say it's not a one-size-fits-all, do whatever works for you. Like I said earlier, let's look at the facts and figure out what actually works best for most families. Before we get into the specifics, there's a caveat. Not all marriages are the same. Some marriages are less than ideal where at least one partner is an abuser, cheater, drunkard, or just plain selfish. So no financial strategy would help in those cases. In fact, maybe hide your money is actually the best model that works best in such situations. And honestly, why wouldn't you hide your money if you discover that your spouse only married you to take half of your possessions, right? But that's not the kind of marriage I'm addressing here today. I'm speaking to ideal. Of course, not perfect, but ones where both partners are committed to the marriage and the forever success of the marriage. If you're single, listen very carefully. Be the spouse and find the spouse who's committed to building a forever successful marriage with you. So, well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the first model, which is the 50-50 model, where both partners contribute equally to every expense. So rent is $1,000. Each person is going to contribute $500. Groceries cost $200. You pay $100. I pay $100. Sounds fair, right? But let me ask you this. Does this sound like a marriage to you? Or it's roommates splitting things, right? Imagine this. It's time to pay the rent and you're texting your spouse, hey, can you Venmo me your half? Or worse, you're at a restaurant and both of you pull out your credit cards. Hey, we're splitting the bill. To me, it's giving me serious boyfriend girlfriend vibes, not husband and wife vibes. But here's the kicker: a lot of couples actually do live this way. Is it a good way to handle family finances? What does the data say? We shall come to that. Now let's move on to the second model, the proportional split. This is where the couples divide the bills based on how much they earn. So one person earns more, so they pay more. So if the rent is $1,000, for example, the higher earner may pay $700 while the lower earner may pay $300. Sounds a little bit more fair, right? But here is the problem. They are still dividing everything. It's still my money versus your money. And what happens when one person's income changes? I know a couple who lived this way for years. It worked fine until the wife lost her job and suddenly the system fell apart. They had to renegotiate every expense and the arguments started piling up. Now let's talk about the joint pool model. And this is where the couples bring all the money together and plan as a team. Everything is shared. Everything is transparent, and this is where my parents' story comes in. Remember, I told you that's beautiful Nissan that my dad bought, right? Nice car at the time. Here's how he did it. He did not suddenly earn more money. What changed was how he and my mom handled their finances. My dad started giving every penny he earned to my mom to manage, and she created a family plan. She prioritized savings, set money aside for the car, and still made sure the bills were paid and the kids were in school. That car wasn't just a financial win. It was, to me then, a proof of what happens when two people work together to achieve a common shared goal. This isn't just my parents' story. It's backed by facts. First, there's power in family unity. Plain facts. I'm Christian, and one verse of the Bible says this: one shall chase 1,000, and two shall chase 10,000. That's multiplication due to unity. And this applies also to financial unity. You achieve more when you are united on the financial front. And guess what? The stats support this. Listen. Couples who merge their finances build 36% more wealth by retirement compared to those who keep their money separate. That's according to a study published in the Journal of Consumer Affairs. Couples with joint accounts also save $8,000 more per year on average. And households that use the 50-50 split accumulates 18% less wealth over 20 years compared to those with pooled finances. In other words, you are 18% poorer when you split finances. So you would wonder why, right? Well, pooling finances works because it fosters accountability. When all the money is in one account, you can't hide your spending. You are not just spending for yourself, you are spending with your family in mind. No sneakiness and all of that. Another thing is that it builds trust. There's no my money, your money, it's our money. And that level of transparency and collaboration strengthens relationships. It also helps you to hit big goals faster. Whether you are buying a house, paying off debt, saving for retirement, pulling your resources together makes everything more achievable. And most importantly, it reduces stress. No more arguments about who pays what because you are in it together, working as a team. Now I know pulling finances may not be easy for everyone. It takes trust, communication, planning. So here is how you can start practically managing your family finances together. If this is something you have never done, first show them this video and let me help you to do the groundwork at least. Then get a pen and notes, sit down with your spouse, acknowledge your challenges and determine to trust each other and make changes together. Create that family budget, look at your income, your expenses, your goals. Decide how much you want to save, how much you want to spend, what your priorities are. If you are not ready to merge everything together, start with a shared account for joint expenses like rent, bills, groceries, savings towards goals like a home, car, vacation, and even for the future. In fact, you build trust over time and you'll see how powerful this approach can be. If you want some level of independence, hey, I want access to some money that I'll be able to spend without asking my spouse. Well, you can pull 90% and keep 10% for just personal things, right? The point is, you build trust over time and you will see how powerful this approach can be. Just put it into action. Two heads are better than one. It's not just cliche. So let me ask you this. What's holding you back? What could your family achieve if you stopped dividing money and started working together as a team? The stats don't lie, and neither do the stories. Well, if my parents could do it, if countless families are doing it, and the stats are showing us the results, well, so can you. So let me know in the comment section how you manage your finances and if you're ready to take that step. If you've not subscribed yet, now this is the time. Stick around and there's more life-changing content coming your way. Thank you for joining today. See you next time.